Well, firstly, I guess Jared, I want to know how many demos I did the past week. I think I did about 14 demos, sold on 9 of them, 6,500. And it's time to get freaking fired up. I know we're in the middle of the Zoom call. It's easy to lose focus. I promise you this right now is going to be the biggest difference maker in how much Cutco that you sell in your fast start in this campaign to end this campaign, going into the summer and throughout the summer to maybe even win your own All-American. Who likes selling Cutco, man? Who wants to learn to have an average order of over 650 CPO? Who wants to learn how to sell a homie every 4 sales? Yeah. Hell yeah. That's what I love to see. Okay, we're good now. Now, I'm not going to end this. I'm not saying you're going to end this talk and you're all going to sell a Homemaker or a signature set every single demo. It's not going to happen. But I am going to share with you a few secrets about how I have been successful. Now, I have 2 goals with this talk. I want you to end this talk believing that the Homemaker is even more freaking awesome than you already think it is. And I'm going to teach you how to rock names and uses. Does that sound good to you guys? In the chat, does that sound good? See? Love it. I love it. But first, I want to tell you a little bit about my Cutco story so you guys know who I am a little bit more. So for those of you who don't know, I started about 2 years ago, July of 2018. And I went to my fast start, had a $10,000 fast start. Nothing crazy about that. Just did like 40 demos, $10,000 fast start. Man, that's all it takes. Do about 40 demos. You're going to hit $10,000 fast start. My average order wasn't insane. I just did a lot of demos, and I learned a lot. Then that summer, I did a $20,000 push. That is still my biggest push ever, which is pretty dang crazy. About 3 weeks after my fast start, and I ended that summer about $37,000 in sales and won my first All-American. In the fall, I didn't really sell very much. Didn't know how to sell during the school year. I wish I sold during the school year. It would have helped me a lot for the next summer. And that next summer, I actually worked a part-time job that entire summer in cybersecurity. I'm an aerospace engineering major, big in computer science, so I'm also working in that field as well. And I ended up still selling more than that previous summer. I sold about $40,000, missed an All-American by $50. Less than one freaking knife. If you imagine how mad I am right now about missing number 1, I was so freaking angry. And then I got a mentor. His name's Matt Foss, who's taught me so many great things and taught me how to sell during the school year. Any of you that COC last summer, you probably heard me talk about how to sell during the school year. And I didn't know what the heck I was doing at first, but I learned. And I'm heading into this campaign right now, probably gonna end up with the best campaign I've ever had. I'm on track to do over $40,000 in sales and top 5. I'm shooting for that number 2 spot right now. LA Gonzalez is not letting me hit number 1, but number 2 is in very good reach right now. I'm hitting that number 2 spot for All-American, which would be freaking awesome. And in the last 2 weeks, I've had about a 650 CPO average order and over $10,000 in sales on just virtuals. Just virtuals during this pandemic. That's it. And I sell at least a Homemaker on over 25% of my orders and at least a signature set on 12% of my orders. So my message today is why everybody, and I mean everybody, needs a Homemaker. And this isn't just going to sell Homemakers. It's going to help you guys sell smaller sets. To sell galley sets. Galley sets are great too. And so are studio sets, and so are all knife sets, and so are Space Saver sets. But everybody needs a Homemaker. And in the chat real quick, why do you guys think customers need Homemakers? Seriously, I'm curious what you guys think right now. What's in your head? Why do you think people need Homemakers? I want to see some things in the chat right now. Come on. Right tool for the right job. Hell yeah. Basic set. It does all the things. Quality. Best value. They have a tool for literally every purpose. People like quality. Okay, cool. I would say there's a lot of reasons why people get sets. And some people, different things matter to them more than other things. Of course, the right tool for the right job. That's the most important thing. They're also safer. And because they have the right tool for the right job, they have massive discounts on them. It's a better value. I mean, it makes more sense. If you're just going to, like, if you're going to use every tool in that set, besides you don't want the paring knife, just get a set. You're going to save more money if you bought everything else. And you get to give out free stuff. You get a free pair of scissors, or a free entertainer pack, or a free kitchen tool set. And don't forget, guys, they have the table knives. Don't forget how awesome our table knives are. People buy sets sometimes just for the table knives to put them in the block because people love our table knives. And it's more fun. The sets are more fun when you're cooking. And it's just nice to have a complete thing. The Homemaker looks like a complete set of knives on your countertop. It's peace of mind. So, of course, the discounts and free stuff. And don't underestimate how much people like blocks, guys. Almost every house you're going to see, so people have some sort of block. It doesn't matter if it's a cheap set of knives. They have blocks. It's easy access to their knives. It looks awesome on their countertop. Makes their friends jealous. They have a nice set of knives. And it's just safer than throwing them in the drawer. Most people already have blocks. People like to have sets. And you got to keep in mind, guys, why do you think you sell Cutco in the first place? Something Kubi kind of taught me since my first day of like being on this job was a sale is a transfer of enthusiasm from you to your customer. Why do you think you sell Cutco? Because you freaking love Cutco. You think Cutco is awesome. Why do you think you sell sets? Because you think the sets are awesome. Why do you think you're going to sell Homemakers and signature sets and ultimate sets? Because you think those are awesome. And if you don't truly believe that, that's what I'm going to change your mind for right now. And if you do believe that, you need to make sure that you can convey that to everyone you talk to. Because when you show them how much you think that everyone needs this Homemaker, they're going to get Homemakers. Now, but the most important thing about why everyone needs a Homemaker is it has the right tool for the right job. Almost all accidents in the kitchen happen because of either dull knives or using the wrong knife for the wrong job. Our chef knife is freaking awesome. But my grandfather on Thanksgiving tried to use it to carve the turkey. He has the Homemaker. I told him not to do this. He did not listen to me, and he cut himself very badly on Thanksgiving. I share this on every demo I do because it's not designed for that. The petite carver is freaking awesome. It's not long enough to cut through a watermelon though, and I told that to my cross-country coach. And he bought 2 knives and didn't listen to me and cut himself cutting up a watermelon. And also the trimmer is awesome. People use that one all the time. But because they use it all the time, it's always dirty. So when you're trying to cook dinner, you're looking for the trimmer, like, what happened? Oh, I cut an apple like 20 minutes ago. Like, people use the trimmer all the time because there's nothing you cut more than fruits and veggies. It's not just meals, it's snacks. Now, don't get me wrong. Having 2 pieces of Cutco, 3 pieces of Cutco, 5 pieces of Cutco is still safer than having no Cutco because dull knives are dangerous. With dull knives, you have to press way too hard and you have no control. When you only use a few Cutco knives every day, especially on jobs they aren't designed for, I mean, not only is it not as safe, but they're going to dull much quicker. I mean, you're using them on things they're not supposed to touch. The sets are safer because they have the right tool for the right job. And the Homemaker is the bare minimum safest. There's a reason why we say it has the minimum number of tools to make 100% of jobs in your kitchen as efficiently as possible. There's a reason I still say that on every single presentation I do. Yes, I read the manual still word for word on most things I do. So still read the dang manual, guys. God dang, it's awesome. But how many guys have ever heard at the beginning, in the middle, or at the end of a demo, oh, I only use 2 or 3 knives for everything? Who's heard that before? Shout out in the chat. Who's heard that at least once? If you haven't heard that at least once, you haven't done enough demos yet. That's the first thing. Everyone's heard that at least one time. But why do you think people say that? There's a big reason people say that. Because probably they only have 1 or 2 or 3 sharp knives, honestly. They probably have 1 or 2 knives they take care of, that they've ever kept sharp, or that they just make sure that's put in the dishwasher. They probably, other ones maybe are too heavy for them. They don't like how weighty a lot of these knives are. They're like too thick, they have extra metal in them. Or maybe they just never been taught like to use the right tool for the right job. They just like the 2 knives they have. Now, look at our Homemaker set. When you look at all those knives, and another big thing, by the way, sorry, about other sets, is that when you look at straight edge knife sets, it just looks like longer and shorter straight edge knives. They don't look very different. Like, you can't even tell really the difference between a lot of the knives in those sets. When you look at every piece in the Homemaker set, name 2 pieces that look identical, besides the trimmer and the petite carver, which are both super necessary. When you look at the set, every piece looks different. Nothing is redundant. And that's why all of them are really, really important. And now I'm going to share with you guys, I'm going to share with you my names and uses and how to rock names and uses. I truly believe that if a person believes they're going to use most pieces in the Homemaker set and they can afford the Homemaker set, they're going to buy the Homemaker set. Or they will find a way to afford the Homemaker set. So I'm going to teach you how to convince every person you talk to that they need every piece in the Homemaker set. And it starts off by making sure that you have at least 6 or 7 names and uses for every single piece. Yes, grab 2 pens because one might explode. Kubi is absolutely right. Because I'm about to drop so many lines and so many nuggets. And don't apply everything I'm going to say, but take the ones you like and add them to your names and uses. For real, let's get started. And I start out the same way. Of course, you can buy individual tools, Mrs. Jones. We're never limit you to just the sets. But of course, the sets have the right tool for the right job. They make everything so much safer and so much more efficient. I mean, you don't want to pull out your little paring knife to pick up a big old watermelon in you. You want to pull out your giant knife to cut up a little tomato. And that's why we have the 3 really popular sets: the complete, the family, and the basic set. I'm going to start off by showing you the tools. And our basic set has been the most popular one in company history. That's the minimum number of tools to do 100% of jobs in your kitchen as efficiently as possible. And it starts off, Mrs. Jones, with your paring knife. Now, a lot of people don't like about their paring knives, Mrs. Jones. They tend to have really, really short handles. Makes it a lot more, it's just a lot less comfortable for like peeling and paring an apple. Do you like avocados, Mrs. Jones? Did you know that the #1 cause of people going to the ER is actually whacking the pit out of an avocado? Can you believe that? A doctor actually told me this. The great thing is I don't whack avocados with this. I actually poke the pit, twist, and take it out every single time. It's great for scaling asparagus, getting the roots and stems off your strawberries, off your bananas, getting the eyes out of potatoes, getting the gunk out of pineapples, pretty much just for all your small detailing jobs. But it's not designed to be used on a cutting board because it's such a small, thin blade. It's basically Cutco's air knife. But if you did want to use one on a cutting board, Mrs. Jones, that's why you have your trimmer. Now mine has a pearl handle. Which handle do you like better, the pearl or the classic? The pearl, of course, the pearl's awesome. And this is basically your small utility knife. But sometimes I've kind of just called this one the tomato knife, Mrs. Jones, because it's not fair what this thing does to tomatoes. This can go through tomatoes with absolutely no guts. On my appointments, I use little baby grape tomatoes because they're the most delicate ones in the freaking world. And it's because the side-to-side motion does all the cutting for you. You don't have to put any pressure on the tomato. It normally squishes it. It's amazing for your lemons and your limes, your plums, your blowouts, your pieces, your cucumber. And this one actually got its nickname as the trimmer because it's really great for trimming the fat off chicken. It's just a super duper versatile knife that people use every single day. Even when you're not cooking dinner, people use this all the time. This is actually the most popular item in Cutco history. It's the most popular item in Cutco history because people use it every single day. But it's not the only thing you probably wouldn't use this guy for, though. It's just like spreading or serving. And that's why, Mrs. Jones, you have my favorite piece in this entire set. Everyone should have a favorite piece in the Homemaker. Mine is the spatula spreader. First thing, by the way, guys, if you guys haven't won this in their fast start yet, win this in your fast start. Oh my God, the spatula spreader is a game changer. The first thing this is really great for, Mrs. Jones, it's really great for checking your hair in the kitchen. It's phenomenal. The second thing, do you like apple pie? Have you cut through apple pie before? What happens when you cut through apple pie, Mrs. Jones? Yeah, it falls apart, it kind of crushes, it crumbles. This has the double D edge on the side. What that means, you can cut right through apple pie and serve it right out. My dad said this is the best lasagna knife he's ever used. He's a chef, so I trust him. It's amazing for quiche. It's amazing for brownie, spreading your frosting on top. My bagel slicer has ruined every bagel I've ever cut. It slices right through a bagel, spread your cream cheese on top, jelly out of the jelly jar, peanut butter jar in one go, rather than going 1, 2, or 3 times with a butter knife. It's an amazing butter knife. It's an amazing cake knife. It's an amazing, even my dad likes to use this for avocado. He'll actually scoop avocado out and spread it on toast. This is just something really unique to Cutco that you cannot find anywhere else. This is something really unique to Cutco that you cannot find anywhere else. And yes, it's engraved because Mrs. Jones, you can actually engrave all of our knives, which is pretty cool. But nothing I've shown you so far has been like for your meats and your large veggies. And that's why you have your petite garber. This is your medium utility knife. This is for all your small roasts like your chicken and your ham. It's for all your large veggies like butternut squash, goes through like butter. It's amazing for zucchini. It's amazing for your large summer fruits as well, like pineapple, like melon, like mango. Do you like cutting through pineapple, Mrs. Jones? Of course not. Nobody likes cutting through pineapple. But this cuts through pineapple so freaking smooth. And it doesn't get juice anywhere. I know normally when you cut through pineapple, it's really messy. But because this double D edge cuts so fine, you don't have to put any pressure on the pineapple. You can really curve around it really well, and you don't get juice anywhere. And again, it's just a super duper versatile knife. When people ask me, Ben, if I can only get one knife today, what's it going to be? I almost always tell them this one. It's just so versatile. You can use it for so many different jobs. And you might have noticed a fork in that video. Did you see that fork real quick? Okay, cool. Do you like pickles or olives? Of course. This gets a pickle in a pickle jar. First try every time because of the 3 sharp tines. They are crazy sharp. Almost nobody has a fork that's this sharp. It's really designed for turning your meats, for turning your veggies on the stove, in the oven. It's a great serving piece for your tables. Everyone sticks their fork and everything that you're eating, and it looks really awesome on the table. It can pick up little baby tomatoes without crushing them because, again, the tines are so sharp. Almost nobody has a fork that's this sharp. And Mrs. Jones, I'll be honest, nobody buys the sets and it's like, oh my God, I can't wait for the forks to get there. Almost nobody. But I will tell you, I've had multiple people tell me that the turning fork is their favorite piece in the set because nobody has a fork that's this sharp. But nothing I've shown you so far is for your heavy duty jobs. And that's why, Mrs. Jones, you have your heavy duty butcher knife. And for you guys that don't know, to sell the Homemaker set, what do you really have to sell? The butcher knife and the carving set. This, in my opinion, is the most important piece to sell. Mrs. Jones, this is the man that needs no introduction. This is the heavy duty butcher knife. Go ahead and click that video. This will disjoint chicken, turkey, duck. It actually has a tenderizer on the back, Mrs. Jones. You can tenderize meat with it and cut ribs off the rack. It's crazy, crazy powerful. It is, but it's not that heavy. It's really not as intimidating as a knife as a lot of people expect it to be, which is really good because it's a super important knife. You don't want to use your other knives, those heavy-duty jobs. They're going to damage them and dull them and chip them really, really quickly. Like cutting through pumpkin, like lobster, but really, especially, Mrs. Jones, it's bones. Bones shred, dull, damage, crack your other knives faster than anything in the world. It's the hardest thing your knives are ever going to hit. This is when you want to use on all your stuff with bones. It really does keep the rest of your knives as sharp as possible for as long as possible. It's also the most effective knife in this set for cutting through raw meat, as well as it's great for melon. And have you ever cut through spaghetti squash before? Yeah, it's super freaking dangerous. This is the spaghetti squash knife in the set, and it's amazing for squash as well. But the knife that this one probably is going to protect the most is probably going to be your favorite knife, Mrs. Jones. It's the chef knife. Everybody loves the chef knife. The handle's nice and comfortable. You're not going to hit the knuckles on the cutting board while you're dicing, mincing, chopping. It's for your soups. It's for your salads, your stuffing, your stir fry, and your salsa. But it's not for your meat. Promise me you'll never use it on meat, Mrs. Jones. Promise me. And no, I'm not saying you can't dice boneless, skinless chicken breast. That's fine. You just don't want to try and carve the turkey with it. Like I said, my grandfather tried. He cut himself really badly on Thanksgiving. It was not ideal. And I rarely let people just buy this knife. The reason why is they're going to call me in 6 months and be like, Ben, you said it was going to stay sharp forever. What happened? I'm like, what'd you use it on? And they'll tell me everything. I'm like, you. Because it's not designed for that. It's really just your dicing, mincing, chopping knife. These two really work together to keep each other as sharp as possible for as long as possible. These two really work together to keep each other as sharp as possible for as long as possible. And Mrs. Jones, you might have noticed that these two are straight edges. That's why all of our sets have this touch-up tool as well. Every 6 months, you just slide it 1, 2, 3. Keeps these two knives, only these two, as sharp as possible for as long as possible. So you really don't even have to send them into Cutco, which is pretty cool. But chef knives are for chopping, not slicing. And that's why you have the world's best bread knife. Do you like French bread, Ms. Jones? This thing can go through French bread with almost 0 crumbs. And I'm not saying literally 0 crumbs. That's a law of nature impossible, but almost 0 crumbs. You have to inspect the cutting board to find anything. It's also an amazing watermelon knife because we recommend that whenever you're cutting, 2 to 3 inches smaller than your knife. So you got room for that back and forth motion that does all the cutting for you. It's amazing for shredding lettuce. It's amazing for cutting case because it's so long. Case can be kind of messy. And it's great for slicing a lot of boneless meats. People just really love how long this knife is. It's just kind of nice because, most people don't have a knife this long, and if they do, it's really not this light and skinny. Mrs. Jones, people just really love how long this one is. But it's not for anything with a bone. And that's why you have your master carving set. Of course, Mrs. Jones, this is your meat knife. Of course, this is your Thanksgiving knife. Of course, this is your Christmas knife. But do you guys like to barbecue? Of course. Everybody, this is going to be your best friend on the barbecue. For your roast beef, for your carnitas, for your tri-tip, for especially your brisket, because briskets are freaking huge. And also, this is your carving fork. While the other fork was for picking stuff up, this is for holding the stuff down. They won't do each other's jobs very well. And this is for carving through your meat, no matter how thick it is, how thin you want your slices. It's just an amazing carver. Now, Mrs. Jones, you might have noticed that there are 3 utility knives in the set. You got your large utility knife, your medium utility knife, and your small utility knife. And this is intentional because for 2 reasons. I mean, one of these 3 is just kind of always dirty because you're always cutting through fruits, you're always cutting through veggies. People use these every day, even when they're not cooking dinner. And it's usually this guy, if I'm going to be honest. This one's the one that's usually dirty. And when it's time to cook dinner, you're left with 2 utility knives. And it's good you have 2 because it's just nice to not have to wash the same knife over and over again when you're cooking dinner. Now, these are all the tools, Mrs. Jones, that come in just the basic set. Could you see how over a lifetime you use every single tool in just the basic set? And now I could go on the table knives. I don't think I have much time left. I know I already went over a minute, but I could go into that. But I do want to close real quick and just kind of bring everything together and talk to you guys kind of what we just talked about right now. This names and uses, in my opinion, are the reason why people buy Homemakers. People have already decided if they like Cutco or they don't like Cutco before this when they watch the video, the first 10-minute video. When they hear forever guaranteed, dishwasher safe, that's freaking awesome. They don't have to sharpen their knives. That's really, really cool. What they're going to get is going to depend on your names and uses. And if you can get them really excited about sets, about the Homemaker set, and about all the pieces in the Homemaker set, they're going to buy the Homemaker set. And maybe even the signature set. Heck, I think everyone should get a signature set. J-Brad told me to talk about Homemakers. I talked about Homemaker, but I love the signature set. And now you guys can implement every line I told you today, and you can believe in the Homemaker as hard as I do. That does not mean you're going to sell at least a Homemaker every appointment. It's just not going to happen. Not everyone you meet can swing a Homemaker in the budget, even on a 5K right now, especially with the pandemic. People lose their jobs, man. Things are crazy. But if they believe they need a Homemaker by the end of your demo as much as you do, and they will get something smaller that fits for them, even if it's 1 trimmer. And nothing is more important than getting at least 1 piece of Cutco in their house. It's going to make cooking safer for them, more fun for them, and when they cut themselves on their dull knives, they're going to go and call you and buy the Homemaker set that they already know they need. Remember, everyone needs a Homemaker. And if you truly believe that, and you understand why, so will your customers.